There are plenty of factions and guilds to join in Oblivion Remastered, but one of the ones that you should definitely be joining first, especially pushing through as you go through the game, is the Mage Guild. In this video today, I want to break down real quickly how the Mage Guild is really going to benefit you, even if you're not really playing a primarily mage character. But in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge of my videos, let me give you just a quick down and dirty of what's up with the Mage Guild. So for one, there is a Mage Guild in every major city, and that Mage Guild corresponds with a specific specialization. So starting over here with Anvil, Anvil's is Restoration. So if you're playing any kind of Paladin character, Anvil's where you want to go. Skingrad is Destruction. Coral over here is Conjuration. Bruma does not have a specialty, but it still has a guild. Cheydinhal has Alteration. The Imperial City has its own university, which we'll talk about in a sec. Bravel, whichever one you want to pronounce it as, is Illusion, and then Leowin is Mysticism. So you'll need to get a recommendation from each one of these mage guilds, and they're pretty fun quests. They're really cool quests, actually. And then eventually you'll get access to the Arcane University, and the Arcane University will give you two things: the ability to enchant items, which is huge, even if you're a warrior, and the ability to create your own spells. That is the biggest benefit of going through this entire process. So Mage Guild is really important for any and all characters, but that's the too long didn't watch of this entire video. And as just a bit of transparency, you can circumvent the entire Mage Guild process and go ahead and buy the house, or get the house, Frostcrag Spire. It is one of the DLC houses that was added. You can get access to both spellcrafting and enchanting through here through a total of 4,000 gold in upgrades. If this is your first time playing, I don't recommend this route, as the Mage Guild is very, very fun. But if you don't want to deal with it, this option is open to you. But that's the too long didn't watch this entire video. If that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to go ahead and shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. You can also navigate to any part of this video that interests you the most using the chapters in both the timeline and the description. And if you are indeed heading out and any of the information in this video is helpful, please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. It helps me in a huge way. Lastly, if you've not yet picked up Oblivion Remastered, you can go ahead and use my Fanatical link in the description below. This will get you 17% off, and I make something like a 4% commission, which goes towards my endless toy fund for a mini Australian Shepherd. But let's get started here on why you should be joining the Mage Guild in Oblivion Remastered. So we talked about this in the intro, but loading into the game, let's quickly talk about each of the locations very quickly. Now, every single location will sell you spells, even the ones outside of the specialization that they've got. So Anvil, our first one, its specialization is Restoration. So again, like I said in the description, if you're playing any kind of Paladin style of build, even any build that just has a single dip into Restoration, it's quite good, because this is where you're going to find all of those really high ranking spells. Now, other things that the guild house provides, I'll show in a little bit, but you have an enchanter in every one of the houses that will help you restore your magic items, and you have access to just miscellaneous things like potions and all alchemy things in every single one of these guild houses. So that's just worth noting. And I'll show off more of that in a little bit. Our next one over here, Skingrad, is going to be your destruction magic. So playing any kind of actual tried and true mage that is going to be doing actual major destruction damage, it's all going to be coming from Skingrad. Skingrad does have a kind of a weirder situation. They don't have like a general salesperson. I don't know what I call it. They don't have like a person that sells potions and materials and stuff like that. That's just in the city of Skingrad. For whatever reason, they don't have that. But Skingrad is just your destruction magic. So any of your ranged or touch spells, even the higher ranking ones that are beyond just apprentice, you're going to be finding them in Skingrad. Most of these other locations will have just like general novice or apprentice non-specialization spells. So like, for example, if I'm in Skingrad, I could still find some basic restoration spells to buy. Moving up over here to Coral. Coral has all of our conjuration spells, which are again quite strong in Oblivion as it compares to a lot of other games. So this is where you're going to get stuff like your summon Daedra, Spider Queen, or the Daedra Queen, whatever the hell it is, the Spider Daedra Queen, the Skeleton Master. The Skeleton Master is one of them too, actually. But all those really cool spells you're going to start to get over here in Coral. So that is important. It's what you're going to go there for. Bruma is the only one without a specialization. They do sell spells, but they're just not going to have all those really fun, juicy expert and master spells you would find otherwise in a lot of other locations that have strict specializations. We'll talk about the recommendations too in a little bit as well, because that corresponds to their specializations and benefits you'll get from them. I believe this is where you get the Finger of the Mountain spell, which is really cool. Cheydinhall has alteration. So any of those defensive spells, those shields, stuff like that, you're going to be getting them in Cheydinhall, which you can get access to. My like go-to one usually is either Coral or Skingrad first, because I use those spells a lot. But moving down here into Bravil or Bravil, again, I don't know how you pronounce it because it is a weird name for me, is Illusion. So if you're playing any kind of stealth archer or any kind of character that wants to take advantage of invisibility, paralysis, charming, it's all here in Bravil. Last one we have is Leowin, which is going to be our mysticism. So trying to get access to those higher level soul tap abilities, which are really crucial to keeping your soul gems stocked up. You're going to do it here in Leowin, because this is going to give you access to the range soul tap ability, the AoE soul tap ability, all the really good ones that you're going to be getting from mysticism. So that's all the locations, what you're going to get from them. Let's talk more about stuff. So talking about the actual Mage Guild, what's it like going into them? What do they afford you? What can you do here? So this is the Coral Mage Guild. Remember, this focuses on conjuration. So let's go over here to this guy right here. Nope. This one over here. So this character, I've got to level up, has the ability to sell me spells. Now, there will typically be 1 to sometimes, I think very rarely, 3 types of vendor that specialize in spells, as we've talked about before, in those locations. So this is the conjuration vendor that sells the higher level conjuration spells. Let me just organize this by cost. That's roughly like, hey, these are the higher level ones. It's not always the case, but still. And you can see here, I can't even like use any of these, right? Like it says your skill level is too low over here on the left, but this is where I'm going to get all of my higher level conjuration spells until I get into the Arcane University. So this is why this is crucial. Maybe you're not playing a conjuration character. Maybe again, you're playing that paladin, that Breton paladin that I talked about, and you're going to want to go do alteration. I'm sorry, well, alteration maybe, but restoration, and you're going to get all the good restoration spells from this. Maybe you're playing a stealth archer that is going to use illusion to do any kind of invisibility, charm, paralysis, whatever it is. You're going to want to get those higher level ones as you level up. But these are just the initial ones, and these are purely conjuration spells. There will always be some sort of character vendor in here, if I can find him, that will sell you lower level spells. He was right over here, but I think he's aha. Well met. And it is kind of a little funky. Their window for selling spells is usually like 8 a.m. to I think it honestly ends like 2 or 3 p.m. They close early over here. And it just depends per individual guild. So this guy, you can see, he has conjuration spells, but he also has mysticism, alteration, destruction. So the early level conjuration spell keeper, quote unquote, or guild member will typically have those lower level spells, as well as some other non-conjuration or non-school specific spells. So if you're just jumping into that location, you're brand new to the game, you can still at least get some things that are going to work. Like for example, I don't have Soul Trap, and this is a great thing because I know how useful this is for the game. So I can pick it up right here and not have to go find specifically the Mysticism Guild. Now there is another service that is afforded to you here, and it's this guy. Go ahead, please. In this guild, at least, every guild will have one person who will recharge your magic weapons. This is nice until you get Soul Trap online and more soul gems that you can recharge them yourself. Remember Varla stones? Varla stones will also recharge your magic weapons. But this is another good source that you get while going into the Mage Guild. Also too, you will have some form of alchemist and general salesman that will sell a wide range of things. It's typically alchemy specific and potions. But what's nice about this too is this character will have soul gems as well, but they will also have plenty of materials, which is great and all. And yes, I know about the locations you can go and you can just farm specific ingredients and go through your alchemy stuff. I don't like to really play like that. So I can get any of the alchemy things I need from in here, any of the alchemy apparatus, or I can get plenty of ingredients. If you join a guild, nothing in the guild house is off limits. It's entirely up for grabs for you. So you can use this to take advantage of it and come in here. You can buy and you can grab all these things and sell it if you so wish. Sometimes there'll be a skill book in here. Like this one is an alchemy skill book that I've already gotten. But again, there's plenty of ingredients and materials in here. You can even go upstairs. Oh, you can even go upstairs, and in this room in specific, just as another further example, and this applies to the Fighters Guild too. This has a bunch of food. All this food is good alchemy ingredients. So you get access to everything in the guild as something that you can purchase. I'm sorry, that you can just take without worrying about triggering any kind of stealing. Again, there's another further example over here. We have a lesser soul gem that I would otherwise have needed to have purchased, but I can just go ahead and snag it. And all this stuff levels up. This says Novice Retort. Eventually that will level up as I level up. I think every 3 days this would all reset, but that is what the guild house actually affords you outside of the university. Now with Oblivion Remastered, you do get access to a special location called Frostcrag Spire. You can circumvent a lot of the stuff that you really need to do to unlock spellmaking and enchanting at Frostcrag Spire, but you do have to upgrade this house. This comes with the game as part of the DLC and the free content that was added to Oblivion over the many years. So you can upgrade the Frostcrag Spire by adding the Mage Tallow Candle box or Candles box. There's 2 upgrades here to add spellmaking and then enchanting, so you could completely circumvent the Mage Guild if you so wish. My personal opinion is if you've never played the game, the Mage Guild quests are very fun. And by doing this, you kind of circumvent, I think, the way that they were probably intending you to approach this. And to be totally fair, 4,000 gold when you first jump into the game is not easy to really get access to. A lot of these Mage Guild quests are, again, they're fun, but they give you thematic items and or spells that might correspond with a specific spell school you are going to use. I feel like this video wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about this location, so I do want to bring it up for continuity's sake. So the most important thing of these guild halls, though, is you have to go to every single one of them and do this right there, recommendation. The guild leader, who is typically the rank of wizard, will give you a recommendation back to the Arcane University. Once you've done a recommendation at all of those guilds and completed their quest, you will then get that entry into that Arcane University. And what does the Arcane University give you? It does give you a lot of the things that you get in Frostcrag Spire, which we'll talk about. But right here, the most important thing is obviously access to enchanting and access to spellmaking. And now I'll be doing videos on each one of those things respectively. So be on the lookout for the spellmaking guide and the enchanting guide. It's very straightforward, but just to kind of break it down and show you what you can unlock here. And for the sake of, again, I try to make a lot of these videos spoiler free so that your experience at the Arcane University the first time isn't ruined by me just going there. So that's the biggest reason that you'd want to do all this. You get access to the Arcane University. You can make your own spells. You can make enchanting your own weapons gets really strong. And again, making your own spells in this game is very, very strong. In that spell making video, I'll be showing off some really cool examples, but just to kind of throw one blindly your way, you can make a super strong destructive fireball that could, with the right amount of radius, destroy a whole town technically. Like, again, I'm using hyperbole, but even if I were just to give you a real basic one, you can do 100 charm that lasts for 1 second on touch. Basically, you'd walk up to any vendor, touch them with 100 charm spell that you've made at the enchanting offices over here, the spellmaking offices over here, and then you get the best prices on stuff, right? You just go ahead, they have 100 disposition, and go ahead and haggle them through your teeth. I don't know if that term means anything, through your teeth, but either way, you haggle them, get better prices, and there you go. So that's an example of spell making that is really helpful, that doesn't take a lot to unlock. Charm is a really easy spell to get, and it's not a huge investment. So that is, again, a further example of how spell making gets really strong for every character you make in Oblivion. At that, it brings our video here to a close. Now, I didn't want to go through every portion of the guild as far as, hey, this is where you get this quest, you have to do these quests. There is still a large exploration portion of Oblivion Remastered. I believe with my content, I don't want it to have any real big crucial spoilers. I was actually kind of on the fence about covering Frostcrag Spire, but it's in the game, I might as well bring it up. and talk about it because it is something you're going to discover on your own. And I'd rather you know how it works into this entire play style. So you can circumvent it if you wish. But again, like I've said so many times in this video, I really enjoy the Mage Guild quests. So play how you want. If you want to go and circumvent everything, go to that crag or that spire. If you want to go ahead and go through the quest, by all means, go and do it. You'll get really, really strong quests, spells too, like Finger of the Mountain, which I think is the one that's in, I can't remember where it's at. I think that's the one in Bruma. But that one is a really strong spell that used to be that you used to not be able to cast the highest level versions of it because the game just, you couldn't generate enough magic or whatever it was. So I'm hoping that's been fixed with the remastered version. But this again gives you a good sense that there's a lot of really cool rewards that you can get from the Mage Guild. And now you can focus on the specific Mage Guild locations that you want to get the spells for quickly in your playthrough of Oblivion Remastered. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. If you have any recommendations of places to go, things to do, whatever it is when it comes to going through the Mage Guild process, let it be known in the comment section below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one and take care.